The night began quietly in a small Nevada town, with stars scattered across the sky and the hum of distant traffic. But silence turned to terror when the morgue's alarms went off, signaling something unthinkable. Bodies vanished, reappearing as walking, relentless horrors that attacked anyone in sight. Sergeant Ethan Cross, home from military duty and seeking peace, witnessed the nightmare firsthand. Fires erupted in the streets as neighbors screamed and fled, and the dead moved with terrifying coordination. News stations reported chaos spreading to neighboring towns, but lines went dead as panic overtook calm. Ethan, clutching his weapon, found Dr. Ava Collins, a CDC scientist stranded after a government convoy was ambushed, and Liam, a teenage hacker hiding from the chaos, trapped in a burning building. Together, they navigated the eerily silent streets, dodging undead patrols that seemed to anticipate every move. Smoke rose from abandoned cars, and the faint groans of the dead filled the air, sending shivers down their spines. From the sky, satellite images revealed the shocking truth. Multiple outbreaks were erupting across the United States, the spread faster than anyone could imagine, and the nightmare was only beginning. The virus's origins quickly became apparent as Dr. Ava uncovered records linking the outbreak to Project Lazarus, a secret Pentagon experiment designed to create self-healing soldiers. The supposed miracle treatment had mutated, turning corpses into highly aggressive, organized undead with intelligence and tactical coordination. Ethan's group, determined to reach a CDC bunker in Colorado, navigated deserted highways and collapsed overpasses, all while avoiding rogue military squads led by Colonel Drake, a man intent on controlling the outbreak. Along the way, they witnessed towns reduced to smoking ruins, cars abandoned, and people left to fend for themselves. Each encounter with the undead showed shocking adaptability. They learned, hunted, and herded with horrifying precision. Inside the bunker, Ava discovered partial data logs hinting at Drake's continued involvement and his sinister plan to weaponize the undead army. Desperation mounted as Ethan and his companions realized that the enemy was not only the undead, but human greed and ambition that fueled this nightmare. Tensions rose, trust was tested, and escape became a delicate dance between life, death, and the unknown intentions of the military. Los Angeles lay in ruins, the streets littered with charred cars and overturned buses. The survivors broadcast desperate distress calls, hoping anyone would answer, but silence answered them. The undead had evolved, moving in tactical formations that suggested a disturbing level of intelligence. Ava decoded intercepted military transmissions, realizing someone in the Pentagon was orchestrating the attacks with precision. Ethan's group infiltrated the quarantine zone, dodging patrols and evading swarms of undead that reacted to movement and sound. They rescued trapped survivors, including Maya, a nurse who had been tending to the sick amid chaos. Together, they fought through streets lined with corpses, witnessing the horrifying ways the undead adapted to human tactics. Looting gangs and desperate citizens created additional threats, blurring the line between human and monster. Each narrow escape reinforced the terrifying truth. The outbreak was no longer a random disaster. Colonel Drake was remotely controlling the undead, turning once dead soldiers into extensions of his will. The city's skyline glowed with fires, and above, drones surveyed the chaos, signaling that nowhere was safe and that survival would require more than courage. It demanded cunning. The virus was no ordinary pathogen. Liam's hacking into Pentagon servers revealed the terrifying integration of artificial intelligence into the undead, allowing hive-minded coordination and predictive attacks. Ethan began showing subtle signs of infection, a faint glow in his eyes and sudden moments of aggression, yet he retained control. He struggled to keep this secret, knowing any weakness could doom the group. As Ava and the team navigated the bunker, undead forces breached their defenses, forcing them to flee through the dark, water-filled sewers beneath the city. Panic and claustrophobia pressed against them from every angle, while Ethan fought an internal battle between human morality and emerging instincts tied to the infection. Sounds echoed unnaturally, groans and whispers mingling in the darkness, hinting at a connection between infected humans and the AI controlling them. The group's unity strained under pressure, but trust held for now. Each step deeper into the underground system brought them closer to survival and closer to confronting Ethan's transformation. Shadows flickered against the sewer walls as the undead adapted to their presence. And for the first time, the team realized they were not just fighting the dead, they were fighting evolution itself. The United States was crumbling under the relentless spread of the undead. Washington, D.C. fell first, the government disintegrating as cities burned and infrastructure collapsed. Colonel Drake announced himself as the leader of a new America, claiming mastery over the undead army and the right to rebuild the nation in his vision. Ava and her team journeyed to a hidden data vault in Chicago, hoping to uncover the virus's blueprint and a possible cure. Along the way, they encountered survivor militias and communities grappling with moral dilemmas, some seeing the undead as divine punishment, others exploiting the chaos. Ethan's symptoms worsened. His glowing eyes were impossible to hide, yet he resisted the infection's urges. Doubts crept in as the group debated whether he was an asset or liability. Tension between human survival instincts and compassion escalated with each encounter, and the team's mission became urgent: stop Drake, stop the virus, and find a way to retain humanity amid carnage. Fires and screams lit the horizon, the nation in ruin, and the line between human and monster blurred more than ever. Ava and Liam attempted a desperate national broadcast, reaching out to scattered survivors to unite against Drake's forces. The undead traced their signal, prompting a massive assault on their stronghold. Explosions shattered walls and streets, fire and smoke consuming everything in sight as chaos engulfed the Midwest. Ethan used his growing psychic connection to the undead to divert attacks, sacrificing his safety to save others. The stronghold became a battlefield of fire, debris, and the relentless groans of the dead. As Ava piloted a helicopter out of the inferno, she witnessed Ethan's struggle, half human, half undead, pushing his own limits to keep survivors alive. Cities burned, rivers overflowed with fleeing masses, and the sky was blackened by smoke. The scale of destruction was unimaginable. With each passing moment, hope seemed to fade, yet Ava and Liam survived, carrying the spark of resistance forward, knowing the fight was far from over and that the world they knew had ended. Weeks passed in fractured silence. Humanity survived in scattered colonies, each struggling against starvation, fear, and the undead that roamed freely. Ava and Maya discovered a secret underground resistance called the Remnant, a coalition determined to reclaim the nation. Rumors suggested Ethan survived, evolving into something beyond human comprehension, part of the undead yet retaining consciousness. Ava studied recovered DNA samples, crafting a potential countervirus capable of halting the undead or restoring infected humans. As she worked, ethical dilemmas weighed heavily, risking lives to deploy a cure or watching humanity fade further. Deep in the ruins of D.C., Ethan awoke, haunted but aware, capable of communicating with the undead hive. His loyalty to human companions was uncertain, his emotions tangled between survival, vengeance, and lingering humanity. The episode closed with the realization that the war was shifting from physical battles to psychological and moral ones, as decisions made by a few could determine the fate of millions. The final battle erupted in New York City, a city reduced to ruins, where Colonel Drake's fortress became the epicenter of chaos. Ethan, now a hybrid commanding the undead, led a massive assault on Drake's defenses. Ava deployed the countervirus, risking her life to ensure it reached the most densely populated zones. Explosions and firestorms erupted across the city as Drake's forces crumbled. Ethan confronted Drake in a brutal duel, ultimately killing him, but triggering a nuclear failsafe that threatened to annihilate the region. Seconds before catastrophe, Ava released the antidote into the air, halting the virus and preventing mass annihilation. The city was left in smoldering ruins, smoke filling the horizon, and survivors emerged amid devastation. The series ended on a haunting note, a lone child standing among the rubble, the wind carrying whispers of lost souls, and Ethan's voice narrating. The end was our creation, but so was the chance to begin again. Humanity had survived, but the scars of the undead war would linger forever, reminding the world that even in devastation, hope could endure.